I got so much feedback from people, and it's made my life much better. I sit at my piano and I'll play something, and it's yes.
Welcome to the Health and Piano podcast. I'd like to share with you this video of a chat I had with Alex, who, aged 85, had a stroke and was unable to read traditional piano notation. So he then came across our DecPlay method, and very quickly he's been able not only to play piano again, but regain most of the movement in his left arm and hand, which he'd lost. And I didn't know until the conversation that not only had he got the movement back in his hand and was able to play piano now, that it improved his arthritis and his anxiety and depression as well. So I found this a really uplifting and quite inspirational story that I hope you will enjoy.
I thought it'd be really useful just to go back to the start, really, and just to find out your piano story. What first made you want to start piano in the first place?
Well, I played the piano and an organ for quite a number of years. In 2005, I had a major surgery in Papworth, which my body was shut down and put on heart and lung bypass. I'm cutting this story short. I'd only got 6 months to live in 2005. I had this operation, which supposedly gave me an extension in life. But it gave me more than that, because I'm really happy where I am, the place I'm at. Like, I'm not physically fit, but I'm happy where I am. And I started playing the piano again, because I'd lost all memory. I sold the organ because I just sat there, two manuals and my feet, and where they would go, and I'd forgotten how to play it. So I sold the organ, and eventually I then said to myself, well, it's time I got something done, get back into saddle again. Because I was running 3 choirs with another lady. And so I started to play the piano. Then, cut a long story short, I had a stroke about 4 or 5 years ago, which took my left arm and left leg. So by rote learning, I have worked with people that's had brain injuries and all sorts. And I did find out that, I learned through the courses I went on, that we only use a small percentage of our brain. And you can teach another part of your brain that's been stood dormant to do something again, to take part of that part of the brain that's died.
Wow.
So I started by rote learning, which is you start lifting your elbow, your shoulder, and lift it, and continually doing it. And a lot of frustration. It gradually, you feel it, and your arms moving. And you work down to your fingers. Takes some time, but eventually I got where I could lift my arm. I can lift it now, but I could lift my arm, and I thought, well, I can place it on the piano. So I started just messing about, and I come across you on Facebook, and I was intrigued more than anything to find out what it was all about. And when you started saying you get your hand in a claw shape, I thought, I can do that. So then I sat my hand on the piano again, a claw shape, and I thought, yes, I'm joining this. So I joined, and I forget now how long it is that I've been in, you may know better than me. And continually, again, a lot of frustration again, heartache and misery, if you understand what I'm saying. Well, eventually, I got to the stage where I could do the broken chord by just rolling my hand, like you said, in your Zoom meetings. So I've followed everything you said, and I've gone and I've tried. And over a period of time, and it has took me a long time, it made me frustrated when I see people that have started after me playing some lovely music. And I think, well, Alex, you're doing something wrong. But I weren't. I'm a positive person. So I persevered and persevered till now I'm getting in a place where I'm confident enough to put some posts on. And I'm playing the black notes. I'll say it that way because the people that learn it will remember it that way rather than sharps and flats. I learned that I could play the black notes. Yeah. Took a bit more practice and a bit more frustration. But down the line now, I am in a position where I can sit, and after quite a heck of a lot of practice, because I have to stop doing right hand and concentrate on left hand to get them shapes. This is the main thing, is getting the shapes. And once you've taught your brain and electric shocks going down your arm to your fingers, that's the shape we want. And I've gradually got now as I can just about do an octave, which
Brilliant.
I'm really pleased about that, because that brings me back. I mean, I can play dots at right hand still. But I do find the numbers easier than the dots. So now I'm at a place where I can listen to yourself. I understand what you're saying. And I also feel confident that I can pass on some knowledge that I've known in the past that's come back to me by playing. I can pass on some of the knowledge to some of the people that are playing. There's one thing that I like to see is posture and the right hand position. That to me is eventually, you'll back me up, I'm sure you will, that eventually you'll find it's sort of uncomfortable to start with, but afterwards, when you've got used to the position, it's more comfortable playing your notes and finding the notes. And that's what I've learned from yourself.
Yeah. Brilliant. That's fantastic, the progress you made after the stroke. How long was it to then start to play your first chord? Was it straight away the claw shape?
No, I had to get my hand and bend it into a shape, bend the fingers, and then place it on piano, then find that's what we're there and that's what we're there, like, so I was then, I would actually play 1, 2, 3. And then I realized, then, as you said, keep that shape and move up. But when I started doing that, I found my arm weren't moving it right way. So I had to again practice to get my arm moving. First of all, I'm moving my body. And my arm was upset it right hand. But there's been times again, as I say, frustration again, when I can't play my right hand because I'm concentrating so much on my left hand to get the shapes. I was so chuffed with myself. I was actually in Torquay in the Belgrave Sands playing their grand piano or trying. Because what I've done, every holiday I've gone on, I've tried to find it. They've got a piano so I can practice, instead of missing a week. So I played, what was it called? The first one in
Amazing Grace.
Amazing Grace. That's it, yeah. And I played it. Thought, wow, where's my iPad? And I stood my iPad on end of piano and I played it several times. I did about maybe half a dozen recordings. Then I went up to my room and I went through them all to find the best one. And I got the best one and I posted it. And I got so much feedback from people. so much feedback. It really boosted my confidence. And that's what I found with this group, especially Claudine. She took me under her wing and she was encouraging me, you know, all the time. And I thought, this is brilliant, this. And it's made my life much better. I'm happier. I've got something to do. I take that one every time I go to Nid Hall, up North Yorkshire, one of the wellness places. Put in his bag, sling it on my back, put in my car, off I go to North Yorkshire. And that goes down to the lake with me, and I sit at the picnic table and play the piano out there. Well, up to now, it's been practice. And I used to go down there out the way, so people... See, people wouldn't, so it wouldn't interrupt them, right, you know. But people have come past and they've looked over my shoulder and said, "What you playing? Numbers?" I said, "Yeah, I'm playing by numbers." I says, "You pay by numbers, I'm playing by numbers."
And then as somebody who did learn how to read the traditional notation in the dots, so how does the numbers compare to that?
Oh, far easier, much easier. Definitely. I mean, I'm playing now, well, I'm pottering about with different pieces. PAEs, I think that'll be my next. And this is what I've been doing all the time. I've been giving myself challenges. And I know now through past year, a couple of years I've been doing it, that if I persevere and push, I'll get there.
That's a brilliant inspiration for other students, I think, because there's lots of students who have various different challenges, physical or
That's right,
or
yeah.
learning challenges or sight or hearing or, like you said, had a stroke or arthritis. There's a whole range of different challenges that people have.
And I won't say I've got arthritis, but this has helped the arthritis as well.
In what way?
Movement. Even your fingers moving. Fingers are more supple. They hurt, I know, of course they do, they ache. And you get lumps on them like I've got, like, you know, lumps and bumps. But if you practice and keep at it, you don't, well, there's a saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. So, I mean, that's one of my beliefs. So,
have you got any tips for people with arthritis in terms of how much you practice and how much discomfort you go through before you stop?
Well, I don't suppose my arthritis is really bad. You know, I do know there's some, when you see their hands, I feel sorry. I really feel sorry for them because they've really got big knuckles. And so they must be having some pain. But myself, it does help with the flexibility and the movement in your hands, you know, and getting to spread an octave, you know what I mean? Anybody with any sort of ailment like that, my advice is practice a little and often. If you push it too much, then you will start to get aches and pains, which knocks your confidence. If you practice a little and often, keep your hands supple, and you will find eventually you'll be able to practice a little bit more. It's them barriers you've got to keep pushing.
Yeah.
Only having a positive and a determination, you'll get there.
Yeah. And I think also engaging with the group is great too, because I think from a motivation point of view, rather than just say practicing on your own, I think people, the more you engage with the group, I think that can really boost motivation and fun.
It certainly can, yes. Claudine, I can't thank her enough. She's really boosted my confidence. She's messaged me without even, having me messaging her and a reply. She just messaged me and said, "How are you, Ali? Are you all right? Are you practicing?" More about myself rather than push on piano. And, well, she knows I've had quite a number of falls. And one, I thought I'd broke my hip, but I haven't. But, I mean, it's all through, as I say, doing a little and often. Do as much as you can. Don't do too much. I don't know how that sounds to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, that's great advice, that. In general, then, just in terms of the overall health and well-being benefits of playing piano, what would you say to somebody that is not aware of the benefits?
Well, the benefits is when you've achieved something, like I have done, when you achieve that, you get sense of satisfaction, which relieves tension, and you get some tension and pressure on yourself when you're doing it. When you've achieved it, you do get, in your well-being, you get a lift. Well, I do anyway. I sit at my piano and I'll play something, and it's, yes, and I can then go and sit in my chair and I feel good. I feel good. I've done something. I've achieved something that I didn't thought I would be able to do, but I have. And I feel really good.
That's brilliant.
I do. It gives you, I can't explain it really, how it makes me feel, but more relaxed. No, not tension. It relieves the tension, That's what I find anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah. I mean, I think music is a therapy in a way.
Well, yes, see, I can't find words. That's one of the words I was looking for. It's a therapy as well, It does, as I say, give you a sense of satisfaction and achievement. And this is what it's all about. I mean, I've heard some people say, "Oh, I said I'd like to play piano. I didn't think I could. And I'm really loving this." That again gives me a bit of, satisfaction when I can hear people saying that. They're doing something they didn't think they could do. And now they're achieving the fact that they can do it. And it's just, well, I can't describe really, put it into words, how it makes me feel. This is why I offered to help you with the new people. Don't run before you can walk. Or don't walk before you can crawl, if you're younger. And also maybe a bit of advice is, as I said earlier, you only use a small percentage of your brain. There's another part of your brain, the bigger part of your brain, has not been used. And it's like a baby learning. A baby starts from nothing, and they gradually learn by doing things over and over and over again. Rote learning. When you get older, and such as I was, and I started to get my left hand going, I was teaching another part of my brain to do the job that other part has died. And by doing that, rote learning, like that baby, growing up, learning, It's an adult doing the same thing. And I've done that with my left arm. Well, left leg's not so good. I still swing it. Not bothered about that, as long as it don't let me down. Well, it tells us time or two. But as I say, that's the whole thing about it. Just remember, if you've not done it before, it's like that baby growing up. You've got to teach another part of your brain, or a new part of your brain, if you haven't had a stroke, a new part of your brain to do that job. And if you're continually concentrating and doing it, it'll gradually come to you and you'll play. And
That's great advice. Yeah, fantastic.
well, I used to work with brain injury people, and I have learned that bit, you know.
That's really useful advice. Yeah, I'm going to share this with other people because I think other people will find this really useful.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they will.
Is there any one moment that really stands out to you as being like kind of a yes, that like one time that you really had a wonderful moment playing piano?
That was when I was in Torquay, and I played that first tune on that new piano, and I grabbed my iPad and I stuck it up. Yes, come on, Alex. And I played it till I got a decent one. It went a good. I got a decent one. Well, that was a yes moment. When I did that, I played my first tune to such a standard that I wasn't ashamed to show it. And I think there was another one which you sent to me, the Rose. I practiced that and I sent a video of the Rose and also other one. Memory's gone.
Amazing Grace.
Amazing Grace, yeah. But that was the Eureka moment, that, and from then, I thought I've achieved that. I can achieve more, and I've kept going.
How is the mobility in your left hand? Has it improved?
It has improved. I can move my fingers now, which is that I can feel the knuckles aching, like, I can feel it. It's there, but I can press through that because it's not a pain that's really painful, if you like.
Right.
There, it's like an ache. But once I get a little bit more practice, maybe another 6 months, maybe a 12 months, this should be something like normal.
How much would you say that the piano has helped improve the movement of your left hand?
Oh, it's enormous movement I've got back from it. I don't think I would have got this movement back if it hadn't have been for the piano. I'm sure about that. It's the piano that's actually given me the movement, because as I'm practicing, that bit of my brain is picking this up and it's registering. It's like that baby learning to walk, and, I can't explain it any other way. And by practicing, this other part of your brain is getting all that information and it stores it for next time.
It's great that you've persevered and, I've made such brilliant progress.
Well, I've always been a positive person. I mean, when I went to Papworth and had that major surgery, I'd only got 6 months to live. That was in 2005. And I went into it with a positive attitude. I mean, the chappie that wheeled me down to operating theatre, I says, what's the best thing to think about when you're in operating theatre? He says, think about something you like when you wake up. I says, that'll be a cup of tea. And I went into theatre thinking of a cup of tea. And when I woke up, I'd still got pipe down my throat and things up my nose. And she said, all right, Mr. Robson. Instead of nodding, I went like that. My daughter was there. She says, he wants a cup of tea. And that's how I woke up, peace in mind.
Yeah.
I was only in hospital 15 days and they sent me home.
Wow, that's quick.
And others, they're normally in hospital 4 or 5 weeks. But I went home after 15 days.
Power of the mind. I think it's really powerful.
It's mind over matter, I should say. on the second day, I was going down to the gym with physiotherapist because she was taking some down that had been before, that had had their operation before me. And I said, can I come? She says, I don't know. And she says to the sister, you see, yeah, I take him out in fresh air. He's all right. Took me down to the gym. And as I'm going into the gym, I went past this treadmill. And I says to the young girl, I says, is that to be used? She said, oh, no, we don't want that. I said, why not? I says, let me have a little go. Because I'd been on my feet up in ward, holding my hands on the bar, a block round window, and I was doing squats. Of course. She said, well, I don't know about that. So I slipped out while she was sorting others out, doing chair exercises. I slipped out the armchair because I used to go to the gym. I know how to switch on. And I switched it on and I put it on a slow walk, and I'm there walking away. And she suddenly turned around, what are you doing on there? I said, I'm fine, I'm all right, I'm all right. And all there still walking when she'd done exercise with others. Positive mind.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, I've been like that all my life.
Great.
Nothing, I don't I try not to. Sometimes I get depressed, but I try not to let things get me down. And the piano has helped me a heck of a lot. I don't know where I'd have been now if it hadn't have been for piano. I'll say that much. Put piano and yourself with your scheme. It has really, really helped me 100%.
Well, that's fantastic to hear. Yeah, that's wonderful.
It does, yeah.
And if you had just one thing to say to anybody that thinks they're either too old to learn piano or they have a physical challenge or something, what would you say to them?
What I would say is you're never too old and you're never too young to try something new. And if you do try, don't get disheartened because it doesn't work first time. And if you've got a disability, try your best to get around it in some way. Find, if it doesn't work by the conventional way, try something different, a different position, or, and don't try and push it too much. Do little and often and persevere. You're never too old, you're never too young. This system, what we've got here, well, I can't fault it. And I've been in music since I was 9-year-old, singing in Stable Church Choir. I've sung in hotels in China. I've sung on cruise ships. But that's all finished now. I'm too old. I can't go on a cruise ship, because my ailments. I can't go on an airplane. So I'll go on a coach instead.
Right.
But yes, you're never too old. Persevere and persevere. There's 3 P's. Percy, for me. And you'll get there. Don't get disheartened. Try again.
It's great advice, that, yeah. How old are you, Alex?
I'm 85.
Fantastic. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And then just a final thing, if you could actually sum up the DecPlay method in a sentence or two, what would you describe it as?
Well, first of all, I'll say it has been the saving of me. It has been the saving of me because it's given me a sense of achievement. It's given me something to do, and it's something I know that anybody can do. That chappie that was dyslexic, he'd be able to read numbers. But anybody can do it. And I'd just say this, my little grandson, well, he's 16, he was doing the Duke of Edinburgh Award. And this is how easy it is. He said to me, he says, Grandad, there's different challenges I've got to do. He says, I picked 2 out, one was litter picking, easy, you know. And he says, they wanted me to do another one. And I've got to learn a tune. Will you teach me a tune? And in half an hour, he was playing the first line of Amazing Grace. In half an hour. I was gobsmacked. It's that easy. And I would say to anybody that wants to play the piano, come on and give it a go. You'll not be sorry. You'll enjoy it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks. Yeah, thanks so much, for that. It's really inspirational. And we're going to share this with the other students and the people that are thinking of learning but maybe haven't yet taken the first step. Thanks again for your sharing your story.
It's not a problem. If ever you want to ask me something about my journey through this, just send me a message and I'll answer you as best I can.
Brilliant.
My mission in life, especially since I've had this stroke, is to help others. You know, wherever I can, I want to help. So
That's brilliant.
That's what I wanted to do, and
Fantastic.
I hope this has helped.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know this is going to really help lots of other people. So, thanks again, Alex.
Yeah, it's not a problem, Declan. And let me
Cheers.
say this: I really, really do appreciate everything that you've passed over. Really do.
Thanks very much.
Big thank you to you and your team.
Yeah, the team are wonderful. Yeah, it's not just me.
Wonderful team. You really are. I think I said the other day, you've got some damn good soldiers behind you.
Yeah, absolutely amazing team. Yeah, they're changing lives. It's really, really wonderful. But it's fantastic that you're back into music again, playing.
I couldn't.
Fantastic.
This is why I really wanted to play music, and getting this, as I've said, is the saving of me. It really is.
That's fantastic. We appreciate that. Thanks again, Alex. Yeah, and
it's a pleasure, Declan.
I shall speak to you soon.
You will, yes.
Cheers.
Bye.
All the best now. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
For more information on the Health and Piano podcasts and to get some free tips on learning piano later in life, go to DecPlay.com/free.